Okay, well I haven't done one of these for a while. Doing a little outdoor recording today on the 7th of November 2024. The old trusty handheld little digital voice recorder, marching up the lane at the village. So, one reason of course for not doing these walks is that poor old Lottie died over a year ago now. So really that sort of took away my daily walk routine, which was very sad, of course. And we still miss her, but it's been quite a while now. But anyway, we haven't got another dog at the moment. Keep thinking about it, but we'll have to see how it goes. You might hear me crunching over some dead leaves. There's an awful lot of leaves fallen recently. It is still very mild, crazily mild for this time of year. So just brushing through some leaves, if you might hear that. But the thing with these short days is you don't get to go out very much before it gets dark. So I thought I'd have a little stride out in the middle of the day. So I sat at my desk writing. I just thought it might be interested to hear about this little process, because I'm getting quite near the end of what I think will be the 7th full-length Devonshire mystery novel, not counting The Study in Stone or Death at Blackingstone Rock, or even Mystery at the Hall, which are either short stories or Study in Stone's longer, more novella type length. Anyhow, this one's quite long, more like 3 novels long. Don't think it's going to quite be as long as A Must Have Murder, but it's not going to be that far off by the time I'm done. As I'm coming towards the end with this one, I kind of realised that having decided a course of action for the plot, and don't worry, I won't do any spoilers, I might have sort of inadvertently walked the readers too much towards the solution. The kind of clues in the name. When you read a mystery, you don't want to just follow along for the hell of it. You want to be puzzled and you want to be surprised. So that has made me do a rethink. So I've been looking at suspects and clues. And one way of kind of eliminating things, because it is quite a long book and the timeline gets quite convoluted. Because it wasn't all planned out in advance, what I've really got to do is try and keep the whole long novel in my head and keep looking backwards and forwards. And I've done something to sort of help this time. Instead of calling different sections of the manuscript 1, 2, 3, to kind of think of the chapters, I've put a little line, sort of might just say something like Dan and Alan go to the pub or something, or they meet somebody, which kind of helps me to locate things, plus the good old find function that I use. But so I'm doing that, and my way of sort of tackling it is to write very quick, very rough drafts of little scenes in which the mystery might be revealed. The unveiling of what I call a clincher. It's the kind of the clue that gives your detective an aha moment and says, of course, I've missed this all along. It was there's this one extra clue, or it could be several extra clues. Sort of the piece of the puzzle that drops into place is a metaphor that sometimes the characters use, and it kind of works for me as well. So I've been writing these rough little drafts and then discarding them because they oh, car come in. It's a bit awkward, isn't it? I have to go quite a long way to find a wide bit. Isn't really one here. It's not great, is it? I mean, might be able to get there. We can try that. All right, just about. Okay. That was a nice neighbour. Anyway, so yeah, I write these scenes and discard them, and you might think, well, that's a terrible waste. But if I try to sort of just solve it in my head, like sort of turn it into some tortuous bit of algebra or something, it's no kind of fun, and it's just it's frustrating. It's too much for me anyway. So by writing it out, getting the characters talking, and then suddenly I think, oh, well, she would have said such and such, or he would have done this, or how come they never asked about this, or, you know, the practicalities of it come to the fore. Another good one is sometimes I might run something past Mrs. C, and hopefully she's going to read the book, so I don't want to give too many spoilers, but just by talking about it to someone who listens, and sometimes you see the problems. Oh, talking and walking up a hill is making me out of breath, which you shouldn't do really. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of getting it out of your head somewhere else. Once it's on paper or typed into the manuscript or spoken out loud, something happens in the brain that sort of makes you understand what's going on. And I've done this a few times over the last couple of days because it's in the last leg of the book, and it's quite interesting how it comes to light. Well, I just think, of course, that can't be it. It's ridiculous, and it takes a sort of a cold, hard look at it, and the thing staring me in the face, I think, that makes me realise it. So I thought you might find that interesting, the idea of kind of almost doing test runs, almost doing dry runs, you could call it, where you write something down only to throw it away. And when I do these, I know that I might be throwing them away. Sometimes I'll get carried away and one idea will spark another. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame to sort of write a little scene and then think, well, this is no good, I can't use this. But it's kind of for a greater purpose. It makes you realise what the way forward is. I'm not going to say too much more, keep that fairly short and sweet. It's just a quick little walk to get me a bit of fresh air and exercise away from the desk. It's one of those things. Too long sitting at a desk is not good for me. I think I'm getting out of breath just because I'm talking non-stop really. The hill shouldn't bother me. Because as some of you know, I've been running for quite a while now, so I should be able to run up this hill. But probably couldn't talk while I was doing it. Nice autumn day here in Devon. Just pausing to look at the view, see for quite a few miles, a bit of low cloud, a sort of mist hanging in the air. So the Teign Valley looks nice, it's very pretty like that. Fields are still green, a few sheep dotted about. Bit of nice colour in the trees. I've shared a few pictures recently of the autumn colour, and I will put some more on the Substack. Still not quite sure how that's going. Seems to be quite a nice way of sending out the letter. There are some extra bits of it that might prove to be troublesome, but there's the chat feature, and a few people commented on a chat thread I started the other day, so I'll try and do some more of those. Perhaps once a week, or who knows, more often, but around then maybe, just sort of start a thread and see if anybody wants to chip in. It's just quite nice to hear from people. It doesn't have to be anything groundbreaking. I mean, the last one I think I was saying, what do you look forward to in the autumn, or I guess the fall as some people call it. I wonder what you do about the sort of adjective autumnal. You haven't got one for fall, I guess. I guess we might say autumnal colours, and I guess in the States they might say fall colours, for instance. I don't know. But I like the word autumnal. There's a nice round ring to it. Anyway, the leaves are certainly falling. But a lot of them still clinging on, I think, just because it's been so strangely mild. I've got a coat on today, I'm not sure I really need it. Still quite a lot of the greenery in the hedgerows as well. All the ferns and things growing around the bottom of it. Quite a good time for fungi. I see some quite interesting fungi. I can identify a few, but not many. Ferns I'm better at, so the hart's tongue fern, going past the male fern, quite common ones. No flowers much though, not this time of year, but they're lovely in the spring and summer. The hedgerows, it's alive with different pinks and blues and whites, yellows. But still, greenery is good. Green is good, as Kermit the Frog might say. I can't remember the name of that fern. I used to know that one. I used to know lots. At one point I was learning biology, but particularly about plants when I was at university, or first had a go at university. Didn't end up completing that course. Wasn't one of those things. Wasn't really a great fit. And didn't work out. That was a long time ago. Still interested in science, amongst many other things. Funnily enough, when I was studying that, I almost went into what seemed a fairly newfangled subject at the time called ecology. And but at that time, if you were interested in that kind of thing, you were often referred to as a crank or a nutter or a tree hugger or something like that. And even back then, I think I could see the writing on the wall. Me talking about the 80s here. I think even before then, it wasn't hard to look around and see the waste and the chemical spills, the scandals over pesticides and various toxic chemicals that were being spewed out or dumped. You know, it wasn't a way that people could carry on. Why it's taken so many decades for people to actually register that, I don't know. But here we are. Some of those chemicals still in the environment, of course, because some of them never go away. Oh, just found some lovely pink flowers. So there you go, I was wrong. Just heading back through these trees again. Yeah, I'm not sure if all these flowers that I'm seeing at the moment should be out at this time of year, because we've got some wild ones there. They're quite rare, but in the garden we've got a few things coming out that seem quite odd. We've had some bees buzzing around. Yesterday I noticed quite a few bees in November, so I was pleased that I was able to provide them some pollen and nectar at this time of year. So, nearly back, just coming back into the village. Bit of a wind blowing on the microphone. That's a perennial problem. But I'll probably sign off there. I hope you found that sort of little snippet into the process of elimination, I guess you might call it, by writing different scenes out. I hope you found that kind of interesting. Maybe something you hadn't really thought about. I think it's nice when you finish a book and it seems to the outside world as though it's been fairly effortless, as though it's just appeared out of thin air. And in a way it has, but it does take time and effort, and sometimes, you know, a lot of head scratching and scribbling out and erasing and what have you. It's not always a smooth process, for me at any rate, because I want to make things interesting, fun, challenging, maybe in some ways, but on the whole, by the time I've finished, you shouldn't be able to tell that I've done all these rewrites. It should all be seamless. That is my aim. which is why I do a couple of rewrites before things even get edited by somebody else. And yet there'll be some beta reader opportunities later on, even before the editing. So there's no point editing it, paying somebody to do that, and then have beta readers point out a mistake. So yeah, I'll do the beta reading later on. You'll hear about that through the newsletter. So who knows, will I finish this first draft before Christmas? I hope so. Should be able to. This time last year, the first spillover novel, Lawful Duty, was coming out, and that seemed to hardly take any time. It's more of a thriller, faster paced and a simpler scenario, being a police-based crime adventure. So, you might be able to hear that, I don't know. Blackbird are getting cross with me for turning up, and he's busy eating our berries off our magnolia tree. Just pop the old walking stick there. We'll go back in. So, always feels nice and warm when you come back in. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. I will try to keep these coming. I'll try to do one a week, say. See how that goes. Please let me know if you have comments, if you have questions, or something you'd like to know. That's always fun because it gives me something else to talk about. And I will try, I think, to put in a few more bits of sort of rural life in Devon, because people do seem quite interested in that. So I will try to remember. Probably not so much going on at this time of year, but there might be the odd event coming up, maybe some Christmassy things like that might be in the air before long, which I could try to record while I was there perhaps. Thank you very much for listening anyway, and thank you to everyone who supported with getting the newsletter, with commenting on the Substack or the Facebook page. I'm not really doing the Facebook group so much now that I have the Substack features there, because Facebook's full of adverts and Substack isn't. And I hope that's a good place. You can come over there, you can chat, you can read posts that I've put. There's nothing behind the paywall as of this time of recording. I may do some later on just for those people who want a bit more, and who wouldn't mind, chipping in a bit for support. This might be the same people who currently do the send me a mug of tea, might prefer to get something. But, time will tell. I don't want to sort of pester people with the idea that they have to pay for something. If I do that, I believe there are ways of me gifting a membership to somebody. I'm not quite sure how that works. I'll have to look into that. I don't know if it's free to me, basically, but it might make things easier for somebody who couldn't afford it, perhaps. I'll look into that. And basically, that's it. And just please look after yourselves and stay warm and safe and well wherever you are. Might be summer to you, might be winter coming on, might be autumn, or might be spring, I don't know. But I hope you are doing great and having lots of time curled up with a good book. Okay, right, take care then, and bye.